Thought I'd do a little update on what's happening in my own personal life. Anybody who's viewing my channel, you'd understand that there is a great deal of abuse that I've experienced, and there's 4 children involved. There's definite patterns of this abuse that are repeating itself, even through my children. So it's been challenging to understand, how do you break out of this pattern? How do you make sure um, that you jump out of the same pattern so they're not repeated? Because um, I've noticed that every generation is, I ain't going to do the same mistake as my parents did, and I'm going to do things differently. And then without even knowing it, you've changed the scenery, you've changed your experiences, the environment has definitely changed. But when you play the game out after years, which is age, experience, and wisdom, if you can take a chance and look back at what's going on, you'll see you repeated the same game. You've just changed the atmosphere, changed the colors, changed, but everything is the same freaking pattern. So it's really, really hard to recognize when that pattern is being repeated, and you don't often see it. Um, and that is the challenge: is try to see something that is outside of your comprehension, to jump out of that pattern into a different pattern. So I've been, how can I say this? Really working the program. Like I say, I've kind of understood this big picture, and it's like, okay, you got the rules to the game. Now, how do you apply these rules to your own personal game? And I'm the same as everybody else. I am not perfect. I'm still sinning. And sinning will kill you. I smoke, which I'm working hard to stop the smoking addiction. You go through some of my videos. It's a process that I'm working through. One of them, I know the pain of not having a good, friendly relationship with my boys is causing me to smoke. Because every time I think about it, the first thing I do is want to smoke. And the smoking addiction keeps telling me, oh, you just want to die. Life will be, the experience would be over. You'll have peace. Everything will be better if you're just dead. And it's like, okay, I got to teach this smoking addiction, which ultimately is me, how to live. And part of that is how to build a better relationship with my boys. And so the update is, I tried once again to try and communicate with my son. I bought him, like, he did get married without his mother. There couldn't be a more painful experience than that. But I bought him a card, wished him well, got him a little flower, and dropped it off where he works. And it went really, really well. We hugged a couple of times and said we need to talk. And I noticed one of the rules that he has with his life, like, you have to, like, I've had him tested when he was a kid, and he has a problem receiving information, but he can process information at extremely fast rate. Out of 100 people in a room, if he was given information, he could process that information faster than the 100 people. But we basically had to treat him like he was deaf because he can't receive information. And that seems to be a lot of the male traits is, like, if they're stuck in watching a football game and you're trying to talk to them, they can't hear you, you're not in the room. They're highly focused in what they love to receive information on, but anything they don't want to receive information about, they just block it all out. And one of the rules he told me is I don't do conflict. And it's like, I don't want to do conflict either. Um, so I guess while we're going to have our next conversation, I'm going to explore his idea of what conflict is. Because it appears to me that there will always be a conflict if somebody has a different perspective. It almost sounds like this might be the rule of his life, that always do what I say, always believe the way I believe, you know, or else there's a conflict. And is that a good way of living your life? You know, does a conflict always have to be involved if you have two different points of view? Can just a conversation be non-confrontational? Um, I'm always going to have a different perspective than him. I am not him, and he's not me, and he should be entitled to his points of view and his truth, but so should I. But then I also noticed something else, that as a mother, and age and wisdom and a lot of experience, you know, noticing patterns, I can see a timeline that will be like, okay, if you jump off that cliff, there's a good chance you're going to get hurt. So as a mother, I'm trying to save my kids. So I would offer the advice of, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And because he would really want to, it would be a conflict for me to even suggest something like that. So I think one of the best things as a mom and a parent is I learned all of what I know about life by making my mistakes. I got a lot smarter and a lot wiser through my mistakes. And as a mom or a parent, you don't want your kids making mistakes. So you kind of want to protect them. And it's that protection that ends up creating a lot of conflict. So a lot of these experiences, these fights we have within our family, appear to all be rooted from a source of love. I know that the negative energy coming from me, from my boys, I know without a doubt they love me. I've sort of crashed and burned from doing everything they think is right, so I can't do those things anymore, and they're not supportive. They want me to do more of the same thing that harmed me because they think that's the right way to go. And they're only trying to help me because, you know, they don't like my living situation, which I can understand. And I know that it's coming from a source of love, but communicating and trying to find that, okay, this is the path I'm on. I'm just here trying to heal, and I know that how I'm healing may not meet your approval. Doesn't meet my approval either, but it's the best that we've got, and this is what I'm working on, and it's not going to be forever, and this is the path that I'm headed towards. Just support me in what I want to do. So I think at the end of the day, we all have to sort of agree that there is an awful a lot of love between everybody. And sometimes we just have to allow other people to be on their path and make their mistakes if they want to make their mistakes. I think if we're open to just having the conversation, it's never been wrong. I've never ever found it wrong to get as much information as possible. See the warning signs that everybody else that loves you, hear what everybody else has to say, and then at the end of the day, make your decision. Do what's right for you. At least with more information, you're a little bit more wiser. You're a little bit more aware of all of the potentials, all of the directions that you possibly can go down. And with more information, then you'll make a better path for yourself. So I don't think having an open conversation is a conflict. I think it's just information, and at the end of the day, I would support anybody to do whatever they want to do because this is your path, not mine. And if you need to learn from your mistakes, how can I take that gift away if that's how I ended up learning what I know today? And I'm happy with everything that I've learned today. So there's my update. Things are looking bright in the family. Peace out.